So Rakuten Maritime's positioning in the market is to increase the awareness first. So I believe before stakeholders make any decisions on whether to adopt new practices or solutions, they need to understand why it matters. And before they understand why it matters, a strong awareness needs to be built, right? Before any strong awareness is built, any conversation or any discussion about cybersecurity issues will sound like a distant future rather than an imminent or present danger or threats. That's why Rakuten Maritime's approach is different. We don't start with every client conversation with product specifications or talking about specific products. Rather, we start by helping the stakeholders understand what kind of cybersecurity threats and risks they may face in the near future. So our approach and positioning in the market is very simple. We want to be a trusted partner and solid advisor or consultant before being just a solution provider. And we strongly believe that by helping the stakeholders, shipyards, shipbuilders, SI companies, whatever stakeholders they may be, we believe that by helping them understand the urgency and importance of the cybersecurity threats in the maritime industry, we believe that we can take the lead of these matters in the industry. My answer to that question is no. And the reason why I believe that is because of the fragmented nature of the maritime industry. As of now, I do not believe that the maritime industry is ready and fully prepared for ever-evolving cybersecurity threats in the world. Compared to some other major global large-scale industries, maritime industry is still, the cybersecurity awareness in the maritime industry is still at its very early stage. Let's take an example of automotive industry. The automotive industry is now led by only a handful of players like Toyota, Volkswagen, or Hyundai Motor Company. So whenever there are new regulations or new security requirements, these handful of companies will take the lead. They will drive the change and they will drive the adoption, and the rest of the industry will follow. And I believe the aviation industry is moving in the same direction. For example, the aviation industry is now led by these two dinosaur companies, namely Airbus and Boeing. So whenever there are industry-wide changes and new regulations, these two companies will take the lead and the whole industry will follow their lead. But what about the maritime industry? In the maritime industry, we have shipbuilders, ship owner, SI companies, ship management companies, classification societies, manufacturers. There are so many players, and not even the top two players take more than half of the market. And in this situation, I believe the coordinated action will be much more difficult. And this situation will often slows down the rapid adoption of new technologies and new practices. So as of now, for this reason, I do not believe that the maritime industry is fully ready and prepared for rapidly evolving cybersecurity threats. Rather than talking about specific products, specific features and functions, I think it is more important for me to explain what makes Rakuten Maritime fundamentally different from its competition. As you know, Rakuten is one of Japan's leading technology and internet services companies. And indeed, in March 1997, the company was established, and since then, Rakuten has successfully built and operated a large-scale internet services ecosystem, serving over 100 million users in Japan, and that covers e-commerce, credit cards, point system, securities, and mobile network. And if I can talk a little bit about mobile network in Japan, Rakuten became the first and the only company in the world that has built a nationwide 5G Open RAN network. So using its proprietary and cutting-edge Open RAN technology, Rakuten has built a nationwide 5G network, not only in one country, but two countries. And not only in any markets, but two of the most advanced, most mature, and most competitive markets, which are the Japanese market and the German market. And as you probably expect, operating a secure telecommunications infrastructure or mobile network requires extremely high standards of reliability, operational capability, and cybersecurity. And I strongly believe that these capabilities are highly relevant to the cybersecurity matters in the maritime industry. So I believe our strength not only comes from our product itself, but more importantly, comes from our deep experience, our engineering capability, and our operational capability and our cybersecurity expertise. I would say an industry-wide incentive program. So if I could change one thing tomorrow for the maritime industry, I would like to introduce an industry-wide incentive program that rewards stakeholders who act fast, who act more proactive in adopting new technologies and adopting new cybersecurity practices. Historically, for the last several decades, many stakeholders in the maritime industry, they have been treating regulatory compliance as a box ticking exercise. So the focus has mostly been on meeting the bare minimum rather than achieving the real goal behind it, which is an actual protection of your vessel, your asset, and the people in that industry. So the result of that is the number of cybersecurity incidents in the maritime industry over the last many years has been on the sharp rise. And in fact, the number of cybersecurity incidents happened in 2025 was more than doubled compared to that of 2024. And I believe this is a very concerning trend. So I strongly believe that we need a shift in our mindset. Of course, regulations will always be important, but regulatory compliance should not be based out of fear for penalty. Rather, it should be encouraged through meaningful incentive programs. For example, it could be a cybersecurity rating system. It could be insurance premium reduction, or it could be port fast track programs, something like that. So rather than focusing on penalizing those who don't follow cybersecurity compliance and regulations, rather the industry should be able to incentivize those who move fast, more active, and more they faster in adoption. So I believe if I could change one thing for the maritime industry, I would introduce an industry-wide incentive program.